A Fuji X100 and a filter to stop virtually everything but infrared gives some interesting results. Many years ago I used a Canon G3 camera, and I had bought a 49mm infrared filter to try on it. On the G3, unfortunately, it appeared that the camera filtered virtually the entire infrared spectrum, so giving it a try was actually kind of meaningless. My father gave me recently a number of his cameras, one of which is the Fuji 100. And this has an adapter on it for filter threads for 49mm, so I thought I'll have a go. Despite having only tried this for a week and a half, I wanted to share my initial experiences, and in this video I'm going to run through the settings I use, the issues I've encountered, and talk about the effects based on some of the samples. As I said, I've only been using this setup for about a week and a half, and the X100 for only about 3 weeks. For the tests I've done so far, I've been using the automatic settings, but I did need to set the minimum shutter speed to 1/125th to make it work. Even in extremely bright sun, you'll still find that the ISO is pushed and the aperture will be low, which makes focusing and the resulting images difficult, but not impossible. Later with the examples, I'll show different effects when you select the different black and white options that are built into the camera. But I would suggest that you always shoot RAW. And this means that the most suitable setting can be selected on a computer later, rather than trying to do it in camera on the small screen. For different genres, the way infrared works is going to behave differently. Infrared does not seem suitable for some of them, so I thought I'd comment on the effects that I've experienced. Portraits of people are weird. The skin is transformed into a smooth, rubbery look, which loses all colour and texture, and this makes people look more like Voldemort from Harry Potter. If that interests you, give it a go, just expect to be hated by the model afterwards. Landscapes are very interesting. The trees and plants are transformed, and the sky gets a deep contrast against the clouds in a way normal black and white just can't do. Architecture, again, shows that what to our eyes has clear separation and difference is a subjective perspective and not a given. In infrared, the building you see here is virtually invisible against the backdrop of the sky, something that in our light is not the case. This can create a beneficial simplification of a scene, as it can in other cases create a boring photograph. Street photography, similar to architecture, can benefit or have the image negated by infrared. In some cases, the actual image is totally transformed to a different subject and point of interest, much the same way as colour and black and white can render the same scene as totally different stories. The following are photographs of a scene that I'm using for the tests, using each of the 8 different settings that the X100 has without the infrared filter. With the infrared filter, we can see that the colour and sepia images are useless, and I've therefore restricted myself to examples with the black and white filters. The various black and white options, standard, yellow filter, red filter and green filter, each affect the image in brightness and contrast, and this together with the infrared filter can create textures, leading lines, points of interest and contrast that are different. So for me, it has been the beginning to an interesting education on light and composition. I'll continue and I'll post results once I have more experience and a better sense of what works and what doesn't. Till next time.